uh, some of those people, I believe, would be willing to try to get, their things taken care of. They would try to make an example.
An educated and united public cannot be controlled. Get organized. Learn to be active.
And a horrifying one.
News from Israel. Police have arrested 7 people after they blocked a major highway in Tel Aviv during a protest calling for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach an agreement that would secure the release of the remaining 132 hostages held in Gaza. Meanwhile, Netanyahu has publicly rejected calls by the Biden administration for the future establishment of a Palestinian state. He called for Israel to be in control of the region from the river to the sea, from Jordan River to the Mediterranean.
Therefore, I clarify that in any arrangement in the foreseeable future, with an accord or without an accord, the state of Israel must have security control over the entire territory west of the Jordan River. That's a necessary condition. It clashes with the principle of sovereignty. What can you do?
Many commentators noted Netanyahu was essentially calling for Israel to control the land from the river to the sea, a phrase many Palestinian supporters have been denounced for using, even when calling for the formation of a single state where everyone has equal rights. The United States has bombed Yemen for the 5th time over the past week. On Thursday, President Biden.
Yeah, so there goes Netanyahu saying from the river to the sea. So, but then on one hand, you have to sympathize with his thoughts as far as security. Like he's like, okay, after October 7th, we have to maintain security of this region for our own protection, for our own safety of our citizens. Looking at it from that point of view, you'd have to understand his motivations is to keep his people safe. So if he has a security control over the region, then he can ensure the safety of his citizens. On the other hand, you can look at it as there's other ways to secure your security beyond like having like a commandeering force or like a forceful way of like putting people in open air prison, if you will. You could do some kind of working with the folks. And I would say that would be a better way. It would make sense and be in communication with them, because when you don't know what they're doing, then that's when you're going to be, surprised like they were on October 7th, but if you feel like you're going to have surveillance, like crazy surveillance, and you think that's going to be enough to have security for your people, that's the way they were thinking before October 7th. So what's to say that things are going to be different, as a result? I think if you want different results, you have to go at it. You have to have a different approach.
Biden acknowledged the U.S. strikes, which were conducted without congressional authorization, have failed to stop Houthi forces from Yemen from attacking ships in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden.
Well, when you say working, are they stopping the Houthis? No. Are they going to continue? Yes.
Hours after the latest U.S. airstrike, Houthi forces.
Isn't that crazy as comment to say? Is the bombing in Yemen, is it stopping the Houthi rebels from attacking the ships? No. Is the bombing going to stop? No. So it's like, okay, the bombing isn't working, but we're not going to stop doing it. So like, what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish?
Has attacked a U.S.-owned chemical tanker in the Gulf of Aden. The Houthis have vowed to keep targeting ships until Israel stops attacking Gaza. The U.S. House and Senate passed a short-term spending bill Thursday to avert a partial government shutdown.
So the bombing doesn't work, but the Houthis are like, if Israel stops bombing Gaza, then we'll stop attacking the ships. So it's like, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to just keep bombing. Well, that's not working. So, but if you really wanted things to change, then you would put pressure on Israel for their situation in Gaza. I mean, it's real, extremely simple. Like the lamest person can understand that, but their motivations aren't that aligned with being